I'm Chef Christy with Flik Hospitality at the Covington campus, and today we're going to be making homemade eggnog. We are going to be making some bourbon balls, is what I'm calling them, but they're actually basically like a Jell-O shot. Something for you to have at the bottom of the glass after you drink your eggnog. So let's talk turkey, wild turkey. We are going to make these, basically it's a Jell-O shot. So we are going to take 1 cup of ginger ale. You can use whatever brand you want. You're going to go ahead and we will be heating that up over on the stove. Okay. And then while that's heating, we're going to measure out our Kentucky bourbon. And it is just equal parts of your soda to bourbon. You can also do this if you don't want to do soda. You can just use simple syrup or a juice or anything of that nature. So you'll just go ahead and put that in here. And then you just get plain gelatin. I use packets. You can use sheets or whatever you like. You can even get the flavored kind, like cherry or whatever, and then just use that instead. And then just, instead of using the water on the package, you just use any kind of liquor. I don't know how many of you made Jell-O shots in college, but I made a lot. So just get fun with it, whatever flavors you like. All right. So that's going to go ahead and bloom for a little while. All right. So once your ginger ale is all up to a boil, you're just going to pour it right in here. You just want to make sure that your gelatin melts. So once you get your bourbon mixture into the squeeze bottle, you're just going to take these little, you can just get generic water balloons. The key is that they're tiny. All right, for the eggnog, what we're going to start off with is heavy cream. And we're just going to be heating this up and steeping all of the flavors that we're incorporating in here. A lot of people, the main traditional flavor is nutmeg. However, since we're kind of doing a fun, different version, I'm also going to be adding a little bit of orange zest, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of vanilla, just to kind of liven it up a little bit. All right. We're going to add a little bit of the sugar into the actual heavy cream, and then some of it we're going to add to our egg yolks. So a lot of people, when they're doing ginger, they tend to use a peeler, but I swear by a spoon. I think that it's the best way. I always like to peel onto a paper towel or plastic wrap to like make for an easy cleanup. And then add our orange zest. We're just gonna make sure that we get off some of that bitter pith. Get rid of that. So to incorporate more flavor and really extract some of the oils in the spices and ingredients that we're using, we're going to use fire. So what I'm going to do, you can also do this with a lighter, but I have a blowtorch, so I want to use it. So you just, and what it actually does is it kind of pulls out, you see how it's kind of shiny? The oils are just pulled to the surface, and then we'll just get those in there. I also put in one that I didn't burn, and I'm going to do that with a couple of the ingredients just because it gives it more dimension. So you'll have not only the raw flavor, which is going to be a little bit brighter, but you're also going to have like the extracted and like pulled flavor from the oils. So we're also going to throw in a couple of raw cinnamon sticks, and then 2 raw, and then 1 torch. So you kind of see, ward off evil spirits. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. Our vanilla bean. So to get the best flavor out of the vanilla bean, we're going to, I'll just do this smaller. We're going to split it down the middle, and then the inside, all of the seeds, is where all of the flavor is. So I'll cut this one. And then from here, just going to take the back of your knife and scrape off all those seeds. Get them all in there. I think that the vanilla bean gives a lot better flavor because when you use vanilla extract, it's actually a very small amount of vanilla and a lot more alcohol. That gives it the strong flavor. So I scrape it, I add the seeds and the pod because when it boils, it pulls the rest of the seeds out. All right. Then, fresh nutmeg. So good and adds really great flavor. And there is totally a difference between fresh nutmeg and ground nutmeg. Just taste way better. I use a lot of nutmeg because I love it and it's delicious. So I'm going to add a little bit of nutmeg before it cooks and then another round of nutmeg when we pull it off. So just like we were talking about the dimensions and different flavors. Here I have the 4 eggs separated into yolks and whites. We're actually just going to use the yolks. The yolks are going to give more of a creamy texture versus the egg whites, which give a more structured texture. So we'll take the rest of the sugar and then go ahead and pour it onto the egg yolks. And then you want to stir that right away because if you let it sit, it actually forms these little, it cooks the egg yolks and forms little crystals that do not come out. And then it gives a gritty texture to whatever it is that you're making. So from here, what we're actually doing is called tempering. So we are going to slowly raise the temperature of the egg yolks to match the temperature of the heavy cream. So you just do a little bit at a time, and it's okay if that all of the ingredients are getting in there because we are going to strain it tomorrow after it's fully cooled. So once you get this all tempered to warm up so that it doesn't cook your yolks and you end up with scrambled eggs, then we're going to add it back to the pan while whisking. it back to the stove and then stirring constantly, you're going to go ahead and scrape the bottom. I like to use a rubber spatula because it really gets in the corners. Make sure that nothing's sticking. Oh, now that we're just about there, you can always check the temperature on here if you don't feel confident. So eggs cook at 165, so anything past that is safe and fully cooked. So all the eggs are fully cooked that are in this. And then another way that I like to test it is if you create a circle, then it actually spins back. I'll do it again. So you start it in a whirlpool, and then it stops itself and kind of goes back. Then from here, we're just going to put these in our containers to cool. You can do this by putting it over ice, or cooling it in the fridge overnight. But the key is that it's supposed to be 2 hours to get down to 70 degrees, and then 4 hours after that to get down to the 41 degree mark, which would make sure that it is in the safe temperature zone the whole time. All right, so I'm just gonna pop these in the fridge and let these cool down, and then we'll pull them out tomorrow, strain them, and then they'll be ready to serve. Hi, so welcome back. We are going to take our eggnog that's cooled overnight in the refrigerator, and we're just going to strain out all of the ingredients that we put in here. So overnight, you'll notice how thick it comes out, which is fine because we're actually going to be adding a little bit of fresh cream, heavy cream, to kind of like thin it out. So we'll just put this over here. We just kind of push it through. So with eggnog, I really like the texture of it, the like smooth creaminess. I just think of it as kind of like a milkshake, only not frozen. So this will have plenty of flavor. And then I just have some cream over here. Just gonna add a little bit. Let's see. We'll need more or not. So we're going to be putting this into glasses with the bourbon balls on the bottom of the glass. And the bourbon balls are very strong. So cutting it with this eggnog will really even each other out. It still has that thick consistency. You can see all of the vanilla beans floating in. All right, so now we're into the fun part. We get to unveil our bourbon balls and make our glass of eggnog a try. So there's two ways that you can get the balls out of these little balloons. The first way, you're just gonna go ahead and pull the top off kind of tight. Oh, and it just pops right out, just like that. And then from here, you can just go ahead and place it in the bottom of your glass. But I think I already told you that we have a blowtorch, so we're gonna use it. So this is my favorite way to unveil these. so they all come on out, and then you could just take a spoon and go ahead and pull them off your dish. All right, so here's the glass. Here's the final product. So you have the little bourbon balls inside the bottom of the glass. Those will be like the finishing bite to this. So you just go ahead and pour over your eggnog. And then for garnish, I like a little bit of more torched cinnamon sticks. Go ahead and stick that right in there. And then just a little bit more fresh nutmeg just on the top. And there you have it. Cheers! Thanks for tuning in. For more recipes and wellness tips, visit Flik Hospitality on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.